I am Felice Weinberg Nelson, and here we are in our business at 632 West Roosevelt Road. We've been here since 1960, and we are just in the process of permanently closing it down. This business was started by my mom and my dad. It started off informally, and then it made its way into various locations in Chicago that my dad used to talk about. And then they opened here in 1960. It was a lot of fun when I came here as a child. My father was a funny person. We would go places and people would initially mistake him from Johnny Carson until they heard his accent. Definitely more of an entrepreneurial type of person. My mother was a very hardworking woman, teaching herself how to do bookkeeping, and for many years she was the bookkeeper. My mom was a worker bee. My father came to the U.S. in '47 from Germany. However, he was born in a small town in Poland called Ostrowiec. Immigration gave him the name Irving Weinberg. My parents were Holocaust survivors, and my father came here with nothing, alone, and not knowing English, and saw it as a new chance to start over after what he'd lived through, and he ended up selling socks at Maxwell Street Market in '48, I believe. He borrowed $5 from somebody, a good sum, I suppose, to my dad in the time, yes, and he managed to buy socks and turn that $5 into a lot more money. And when he found Maxwell Street, I think it gave my dad an opportunity to have some autonomy. Working for himself was important to him. It afforded him the opportunity to make something of himself. And he often spoke about the camaraderie of other business people in the area. They all knew each other very well and they understood where each other came from. My dad talked about this all the time, about how this guy lent him $5. And I do think that it gave him a real first-hand look into what it's like to be a peddler. And he took his peddler customers as seriously as he took his corporate customers. And some of them were just some of the nicest, well-informed people. People who would buy every morning small quantities of socks and go sell them on the buses or the corner and come back with more money and buy more socks, and they could do this all day long, and they could turn just a small amount of money into a pretty good payday. Thinking a lot about Maxwell Street now and about other businesses and other families that have had success because of it, you know. I mean, it put all my kids through college, so to speak, right? And gave my kids opportunities. Certainly, being here exposed me to more people than I likely would have met growing up in the suburbs. Coming into this just seemed to work. And looking back, I'm very happy I did make the decision that I made. It's been very rewarding. So many people just thanked us for what they called our service to the communities. I was, like, again, I just have to emphasize how shocked I was. The people that were pouring into the store from all parts of the city telling me how it's all everybody's talking about, that we're closing. It was truly, completely shocking to me, overwhelming, and that'll stick with me for a long time. So, you know, if only people stopped and talked to each other more often, we'd all realize we had more connections than we realized, you know? So it's pretty awesome. It's been a whole lot more than socks.